It is no secret that Diogo Dalot is one of Ruben Amorim's favourite. He was named as part of the Manchester United leadership squad, which also names Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez and more. But in today's video, we need to talk about Diogo Dalot, a player that was Manchester United Player of the Season just 2 years ago. And in the back four, I think a very, very solid right back. But he's not been great at Manchester United for nearly a year now. I think he's got good personality, I think he's got good mentality, good physical and technical attributes, but he's very clearly not a wingback. But Ruben Amorim seems to be playing Dalot over and over and over again. He seems to never get dropped. But finally, Ruben Amorim snapped at Diogo Dalot today during our game versus Nottingham Forest. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what's gone down with Ruben Amorim and Dalot, Ruben Amorim's post-match comments on Dalot being hooked off for Diogo, and we're going to have a conversation about Dalot. So, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to hit that like button. You're welcome to subscribe if you're new, but I'm also intrigued to hear your thoughts on Dalot down below. So this is the first bit. Amorim is having a go at Dalot over his positioning. Didn't run onto a give and go with Bruno Fernandes, and then a poorly placed ball over the top for Savannah. Now, obviously, Dalot positioning wasn't great. If you watch the Nottingham Forest game, considering the fact that Ahmad is a winger, not a wing back, Nottingham Forest were constantly attacking down our left-hand side and getting the most fun and joy through isolating Dalot down our left-hand side, getting him out of position. And technically both goals came and originated, the second goal particularly, from the left-hand side. They were continuously getting down our left-hand side. And Amorim was having a go at Dalot multiple times about his positioning. You need to get back, you need to do this, you need to do that, throughout the match, and it was visible, and people that went for the match said that. He started shouting at Dalot, you need to do that. Then Bruno plays a pass to Dalot, and Dalot can't control it, and then there's a couple of attacks where Dalot's fluffed it and given the ball away, and it was a really bad performance from Diogo Dalot. I look at our last few games, and I don't like to target one particular player or scapegoat one particular player, but Diogo Dalot has been a standout poor player in our last few games. And look, Dorgu's raw, and Dorgu hasn't been much better, but it's like, is Dalot really doing enough to bench Diogo? Especially when we get into what Amorim has said. I'm going to get into Amorim's comments on Dalot in a second. For me, it doesn't make sense because Dalot was rushed back in the Brentford game. He's not been great the last couple of games. Even though we won, he wasn't great versus Brighton. Like the Liverpool game in that first half, he was Liverpool's best player. But Ruben Amorim continuously plays Dalot over and over again. But finally, it feels like he's had enough because Dalot played Savannah onside, then does absolutely nothing to stop him scoring, and Nottingham Forest go 2-1 ahead. I think Ahmad could have done better for the first goal, but Ahmad at least brings the attacking contributions. We know he's not a natural defender. Dalot, who's not a natural defender, isn't bringing the attacking contributions, but is defending poorly. And he's not running onto things, he's not tracking back. He lets Savannah, however you say his name, have a good game, and it was just hard to know what to say. And even Amorim was talking to him lots at half time. And it ended up in 70 minutes in, I think Amorim had seen enough. I think he could have come off at half time, and he took Dalot off for Diogo. He didn't just take Dalot off for Diogo, he even made some comments on that. And we're going to dive into Amorim's comments on that in a second. But Amorim was shouting and shouting at Dalot throughout the game about his position, about doing this, about doing that, and he's taking him off for Diogo. And I think he's starting to show Amorim's ruthless side because the last couple of games, Ahmad's been coming off instead of Dalot. The Liverpool game, Ahmad was miles better than Dalot, he comes off. The Brighton game, Ahmad was miles better than Dalot, he comes off. It's normally Ahmad come off, Diogo come on, Dalot stays on. Amorim finally went, no, Dalot's got to go. Starting to show ruthless side. I think Amorim isn't very ruthless with his subs, and I think Amorim has favouritism, but I think he was starting to show, you know what, you're in my leadership squad, you're one of my favourite players, but you've got to come off. That was bad. He was shouting at Dalot about positioning, defensive awareness, and he was unhappy with his discipline. And he was making that clear. Everyone could see it. He's one of Amorim's favourites. He's part of the leadership squad, and he's not a player that will get called out. He's not been good enough for a while, and Amorim continues to play him. But Amorim finally went, you know what, I'm hooking you off for 70 minutes for Diogo. And the message was clear there. No one's untouchable, not even the trusted names, because Dalot and Bruno seem like the two most untouchable players in the squad. Like Amorim's two favourites. I think Ben Jacobs that said that Amorim liked those two players the most? I don't know if it's the Portuguese connection. But Man United fans have been calling for this. And I just think, okay, I get maybe not wanting to start Diogo left wing back, but try Shaw. Left wing back is clearly an issue. And We've seen Dalot at wing back for a year, whether it be left wing back, whether it be right wing back, and it's just not working. And Amorim was even asked about it, and this is what confuses me even more. Amorim on issues with Dalot. If you see Dalot many times, Dalot has the ball with space to make a cross, but he's right-footed, he's always inside without space. And he's saying this is a problem with Dalot. Well, Diogo's left-footed. Diogo's left-footed. Diogo can make the cross. I don't think Diogo's been brilliant this season, but I think Diogo's 20 very raw, and I don't think that Diogo could have been much worse than Dalot. So why not Diogo? You're annoyed that Dalot can't make the cross first time because he's right-footed. Well, you've got a left-footed player there in Diogo. And it's not like Dalot's been playing unbelievable. That Amorim's comments leave me confused, if I'm going to be honest. Because I agree with Darnish here. Dalot has been making too many mistakes. Too many mistakes in too many games, and I don't want to target him because I do think Dalot's a good footballer who doesn't suit the system. I believe if we were still playing a back four, Dalot would be a very valuable player, and I believe that he will do well, and I think he's a good footballer, and I think he has a good work rate, and I get to an extent why he's in the leadership squad because I think he works hard, he trains hard, he's very professional, he's not a kind of guy to throw the manager under the bus, and people might laugh at that, but he's not the kind of guy to deliberately throw the manager under the bus. He does try, he's just doesn't know the position, hasn't got the attacking capabilities to be good enough at the position. He's defensively good at times, but he doesn't know his positioning. He doesn't know the wing-back role well. And look, at first you give him a bit of time to adapt, but he's had time to adapt. He doesn't know his role. He doesn't know his positioning. He can't do this, he can't do that. You either play him as a right-back in a back four, which we're not going to do, or I do think, and I don't like to say this because he was player of the season a couple of years ago, but I think Dalot's one of those players where I still think we can get 25 million for him. And I think, we should sell him this summer and cash in. I actually did a video about 9 months ago in, I'm going to say March, saying maybe we should cash in on Dalot while we can, because I don't see him being a key player next season because he doesn't suit the system. But I think if he has a poor season next season, his value will go down even more. Dalot had quite high stocks last year. Real Madrid were interested in him at one point. And he is a worry, and I've seen a lot of people saying this, not just me. Dalot is a worry long term. He doesn't suit the wing back role. He was all right in the back four. He doesn't suit the wing back role. We've got enough centre backs. And Amorim was actually asked about the sub and why he made the sub. And he said if you bring on more attackers, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll play better, which I get, but I do think that Xerxes for Sesko, did we have much to lose in those last 20 minutes? Mason Mount could have brought on some energy. Could you have taken a centre back off, gone to a back four the last 10 minutes as we push for a winner, and brought another midfielder on because we're getting overloaded in midfield? He said Dalot had several opportunities to make crosses, but it was on his weaker foot, so that's why I brought Diogo on. But we also know he was calling out Dalot on his positioning, and he's not going to publicly call out Dalot on his positioning, but he's saying he didn't make attacking subs, but he made defensive subs because he was annoyed at Dalot's crossing. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with Dalot now. This video, is about Dalot, and I want your guys' opinion on Dalot because what's even more frustrating is Alvaro Fernandez right now is balling it out for Real Madrid. He's literally, today, he just scored a phenomenal goal versus Valencia. He was unbelievable against Lamine Yamal in the El Clasico. Like, Alvaro has been unbelievable at Real Madrid. Absolutely unbelievable. And it's so annoying because it's like we had this guy, Tenal got rid of him, and he could be our left wing back. And I think he's more of a left back than a left wing back, don't get me wrong. But our best left back, we didn't even give him his debut. Which is so frustrating. But we got to talk about Dalot because I think Dalot's a good player. I genuinely do. I don't think Dalot is a bad player. And I don't think Dalot is a problem. And I don't think he's an issue in the dressing room. But I think Dalot is not a wing back. He's had a year to learn that position. He doesn't know the position. And I know Diogo's young and raw, but I just don't know why he's continuously starting over Diogo, continuously not crossing on the left. I think it's time to just say, you know what, cash in on Dalot. We need to go for a wing back. Elliot Anderson and a wing back are the two signings that I want us to go all out for. Elliot Anderson and a wing back. That's what I want us to do. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. I will be back with a 10-minute roundup tomorrow. See you next time. Bye.